Hello guys, welcome to this video. So in this video I will introduce to a new form validation library inside React.js, which is called as React Final Form. This is actually the name of this library, React Final Form. So this library makes sure, so we have this nice little form right here where we have two fields where we receive first name and the email address, and we have the submit and reset button. Both these buttons are disabled by default, so as soon as you write something in these input fields, automatically this will be activated. So now you can click any of these buttons. So if you click the submit button without entering the email address, you will see this error message popping in that email is required. So in this way you can do the form validation and show error messages as well. So if I write the email address, click on submit button, you will actually get this data in the JSON object right here. Both these properties you will get. So whatever the user has written, you will get all this data. So now let's suppose if you make any sort of mistake in entering this email address, if you don't write a valid email address, you will see this error message changing to invalid email address. So multiple error messages you can show depending upon what error the user has made. So let's suppose first name must be at least 5 characters, you will see. So multiple error messages it can be shown. So the name of this library is React Final Form. This is actually the library. They have their own official website as well. It's specifically made for React.js application. It's a high performance subscription based form state management library for React.js. So in order to get started, you just need to install these two packages, Final Form, which is a base library, and then React Final Form, which is specifically made for React.js. Just install these two packages. I've already installed it. So I will show you a very basic example. So just make a simple functional component, and then we just need to require this package by using the import statement. So it'll be importing the actual form and the field, both coming from this React Final Form. So we have required this package at the top using the import statement. Now we just need to render the form. So now for rendering the form, I will just give it a default styling to the div just to make everything in the center position. So after this, I will use this form that I imported, and it takes some parameters, some properties. So the first property it takes is the on submit function. So whenever you submit your form, you can define any custom function that you will define. So I will just define this handle submit function when the form is submitted. And the second function is used for validation. So when the data is just submitted by to the user, this function will get executed for validation purpose. So both these functions I will define right here. So first will be for submitting, handle submit, e parameter will automatically get passed, and second function will be for validation. So you can see inside this validate function, the entered values will come automatically, and inside your handle submit, here also the values will come. So in both these functions, which is defined by this library, values will automatically pop in whatever the data has written by the user. So now we have defined both these functions, and the third function it takes is the render function. So this render function actually contains these three methods: handle submit, submitting, and pristine. So this actually takes a callback function, and inside this you will actually have your form, and here you'll be attaching this on submit function. I can just define this function to be handle submit. So this is the same function which we are, you can see on submit, we are simply passing this. So when the form is submitted. So now inside this form, we will actually have input fields. So these input fields will be responsible for entering the user data. So the first field will be responsible, if you see, we are actually allowing the user to input the name of the person, and this will be an input field type text. Here the user will write the name, and for showing the error messages we will be using this meta object, and if any sort of error is there then we will show this error message. So actually you can see that we are having these inside your render function. We are actually displaying the form. So the main function is here is your render function. Inside your render function you will actually have all these things: handle, submit, submitting, and pristine. And inside your render function you actually render your actual HTML form. Where you submit the form you will call this handle submit function, and then inside you define any sort of field right here. So here we are defining the field for getting the name of the person, and inside here we are having this validations input meta, so where we are allowing the user to enter their name, and we are displaying these error messages, if you see right here. Same goes for the age input. Age will be a number, so here is input type number, and same things for showing the error message right here also, and same goes for country as well, if you see. And lastly we have a submit button, and now we actually binded both these functions, which is on submit and validate. So on submit will execute whenever you submit all your data correctly. So what we can do here, we can console log and check the actual values received or not. And in the on submit function, in the validate function you do the actual validation, and in the on submit you will console log the values. So in the validate function right here you will declare a errors object which will be empty. So here we'll be comparing for each value. So if the name is not entered by the user, in that case we will simply insert this property in this object that name is required. So in this way you can show error messages, and then we'll be having another condition that if the name length is smaller than 3 characters, in that case I need to show a error message to the user that name must be at least 3 characters long. So in this way you can bind error messages. So all the source code will be given in the description, so don't worry about it. So same goes with the age as well, age and country as well. You can bind this for like this, all these error messages. So at last you can return these error messages. So this completes your example. So what if you see now, by default this button will be disabled because you haven't entered anything. If you start writing you will see it will be activated, and you will see these error messages popping in. So age is required, and then the country, and then if you click submit You will get all your user submitted data inside this object and three properties: name, age, country. So in this way you can do very simple form validation inside React.js using this package. It's very simple to configure, and you can have as much fields as you want and show these error messages. So thank you very much for watching this video, and do check out my website as well, freemediatools.com, which contains thousands of tools regarding audio, video and image, and I will be seeing you in the next video.